Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring another episode of Rednecks and Pigskins, Blood on the Gridiron. I am currently by myself at the moment. Jake had just messaged me. He's got a house full, and it's just not practical for him to be able to be in the live stream today. But he did send over his picks for next week. Not sure where Minding Freedom is. I did send him the link, but I haven't heard from him. Probably fell asleep, honestly. But let's see how the old man does trying to carry this, at least for a while on my own. Uh, let's hope I'm up to the task, huh? Anyway, so before we get started on looking at the scores and whatnot, I hope Minding does get here because he's been looking back to see how we've all been doing comparatively to each other on our picks on who would win what game and so forth. So I'm interested to see exactly what he's come up with on that. I always thought we should have been keeping track of it anyway. But before we get started on all that, probably, hey, Jonathan, probably the biggest news today came from, or this week rather, from the NFL, probably came out of the Panthers camp. And of course, we're talking about Cam Newton and what he said to a reporter. Hey, Minding.
Hey, how you doing?
Fashionably late.
Yeah, I pulled a J kid.
Oh, fall asleep. He's
yeah, no, I just wanted to say that I was playing a round of Fortnite Battle Royale, and I was just so much into it. I ultimately came second only.
I gotcha. He's not going to be here this week. He just messaged me. He's got a house full. I knew he did. And it's just not practical for him to be able to come on with us. There's like 5 adults and about 8 kids over there. So it's a bit noisy.
Yeah, I don't want to change with him.
He did, however, send over his picks for next week. So when we get to that part, we can at least know what he picked.
Oh, that's good.
But before you come in, I was just getting ready to mention probably what was the biggest story of this week in the NFL, and that was Cam Newton.
Yeah.
For those of you unaware, Cam Newton, I don't have the exact quote in front of me. I wasn't expecting to be on my own, so
I don't have the quote in front of me, but I think I remember it word for word from when he said it. What he said was, it's funny to hear a female talk about routes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. And before we go any further than that, let's stop for a minute. Most of the guys probably knows what he meant. It is a little strange because not in all of our experiences do we know a lot of women that know football. I know a few, but not very many. And it would be a little odd to hear a female talking about routes and the different kinds of routes and recognizing them and so forth. I get that part. But saying that like he did out loud in front of everybody was a pretty stupid move, Cam. Of course, he has apologized since, finally, a couple days later.
Yeah, but did you listen to his apology? Did you see it?
I seen a clip of it.
Okay. First off, Carlos David is asking in the chat, routes are plays? Question mark. Routes are the ways that receiver run. So every receiver before a play has a certain route. That can be a go route, which is just straight down the field. It can be an out route, which means like about, I think, like 5 feet forward, 5 yards forward, and then to the outside, an in route 5 or 10 yards forward, and then to the inside, and many more.
And by the way, hey, Skeptalk, if again, I'll tell you, if I don't type in chat and recognize you, it doesn't mean I didn't see you. My keyboard is screwed up as heck. It's why I don't talk. It's why I don't talk at the Lords of the Night streams as much as I used to anymore, because the space key only works about every 6th or 7th time you hit it, and I get frustrated, so I just don't even try.
Yeah, that might be the perfect opportunity for me to say, Bloodwing's got a Patreon. Donate to him so he can get a new keyboard.
Hey, I got my first 2 Patreons I was noticing, and I'll announce those in a further video, but I hadn't looked at it because I thought, oh, geez, nobody's going to get on this because they're poor like I am. And so I looked at it this morning, and I have 2 Patreons.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, if you're not a football fan, yeah, it might be a little bit complicated to understand. To understand what a route is, like Minding just described it, is easy, but to understand all the nuance and all that is a little more difficult. But it's not rocket science.
Well, the route tree is very complicated. You have about, 15, 20 different routes, maybe more. Plus, those routes can be compiled into concepts again, but that goes too far, I think. But there are a lot of different routes that receivers are running. Watch the game of football. Watch one specific receiver and try to stand which way he's going, because the way he's running is predetermined, and that is the route.
That's why, to those unfamiliar with, that's why a quarterback, if you watch him, can look one way away from the receiver, suddenly turn back and throw the ball, because he already knows in his mind where that receiver is, because he's been given a particular route.
Yeah, but getting back to Cam Newton, I understand you that you said or I understand him as well, that you were saying women usually don't know that much about football as men do on average, but that wasn't an average setting. It wasn't that Cam Newton was standing in front of, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 ordinary people. Those were journalists, sports journalists, football journalists. They all have to know what they're talking about. They all have to know what a route is, which routes there are. And it doesn't matter if they have boobs or if they have no boobs. Everyone sitting in that room knows what a route is.
Yeah.
So that remark was just, I mean, yeah, I understand if you say that you're sitting in your armchair at home watching football and your wife comes in talking about football, talking about routes, you'd be like, what? What are you talking about, routes?
Exactly.
Okay, that's funny.
She was a professional. She has to know the game to be able to do her job. That's what she does, is cover the Panthers on a weekly basis, through the whole season. So obviously she's going to know more than the average person, let alone the average female, about the game in order to do her job. I understand where Cam was coming from, like we said, because in most of our experiences, we don't know a lot of women that watch football, at least not seriously. My wife will watch a game, but she watches it just to see the guys in tight pants, But there are some. My youngest daughter actually is pretty serious about it. She watches it, on a regular, very big a Colts fan as I am. She's the one married to the Patriots fan, Isaac. You remember Isaac? He hasn't been in the chat lately, by the way, because he's been working nights.
Okay.
But yeah. It was a mess. Cam, I hope you learned something. Think before you open your mouth, dude.
that has always been his problem. He isn't mature. He's still a child in the body of an NFL quarterback, and that is a serious problem if we're talking about the face of a franchise, which he is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You expect a little more maturity, and the funny thing is, I can only recommend this week's usually I think Colin Cowherd is an idiot, but this week talking about the Cam Newton situation, I think he how do you say, he hit the nail on the head, or how do you say that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
If he was
okay.
exactly correct, yeah.
Yeah, he was exactly correct in what he said. He said the most important things in life always come first. What's most important to you always comes first. There's a certain order in life. And if you listen to Cam Newton's apology, the first thing he mentions, apart from, if we're leaving out the introduction, is his sponsors and then the fans.
Oh, yeah. Well, guaranteed, that's what he's most worried about, is losing sponsors, because he was already starting to have issues with Dannon, the yogurt company that he does commercials for. Because they had already come out and said they can't get out of the contract with him. So they still have a contract, but they are going to quit putting him in commercials, they said, after this issue. So, yeah, I'm sure he's worried about his sponsors.
Yeah, but putting that first over your fans? Really? I mean, and it shows you why he decided to put out this apology. I mean, he had more than 24 hours. At first he didn't want to apologize. At first he was like, "No, I don't apologize for that." Like he has 2 daughters. He says that in his apology.
Yeah.
Didn't they exist in the 24 hours while he wasn't willing to apologize?
Well, according to the reporter, and I've forgotten her name. Like I said, I don't have it pulled up in front of me.
I know it. Jordan Rodriguez.
There you go. And according to her, they had a conversation afterwards outside the locker room where he pretty much refused to apologize. At best, he changed the wording. Well, maybe I should have said, you know routes better than most reporters. But that's not what he said. I saw the clip. He, plain and simply, it was about females.
Yeah. And I would say that with that assessment, if he said that, he is correct.
Yeah.
She probably knows routes better than most reporters. I mean, some of the reporters, you really think they don't know anything about the game. Well, it's amazing.
Like I said, understanding what a route is simple. Understanding routes is much more difficult. I've been watching football since the Colts came here to Indy in the early 80s. And sometimes they'll pull a route on me that I haven't seen or that I don't know. I'm like, or I'm fooled, you know? So, but on the same token, come on, football's not like we're talking rocket science. Does it take some research and some study and everything? Sure it does, but it doesn't mean that a person that doesn't play the game, and that's almost the attitude that I got from him. Like, she doesn't play the game, so she can't possibly understand it.
Because she never played.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard. It's, I mean, yes, it's difficult, but it's not that hard. And hey, Jesse.
Oh, hey, Jesse.
But anyway, yeah, we've beat up on Cam enough, probably. He did eventually apologize. It might not be as sincere as we would have liked to see.
Yeah. I'm seriously questioning his motivation there, but what else should he do? Like, well, it would have been better if he right after the press conference would have told Jordan Rodriguez, "I'm sorry for that remark. That came out in the moment. I did not mean to say that." But he didn't, and he had 24 hours and he didn't do anything. And then when Dannon dropped him, when a sponsor dropped him, then he came out and apologized.
Yeah. Well, guaranteed the Panthers organization also was on his back. Hey, you got to clear this up. Because they didn't waste too much time by coming out and saying, that was a dumb idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was some pressure, but ultimately I'm also pretty sure that the sponsors put the nail in the coffin and decided or made Cam Newton decide, okay, that's too much. Now I got to apologize.
Yep. So hopefully he's learned his lesson. And like I said, I do get it. A couple of weeks ago, when the Colts played Cleveland, we actually had a groundbreaking moment. Ours was the first game that a female on national TV done play-by-play for a NFL game. And I was actually surprised. But going into it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know. And is that misogynist? Yeah, probably a little bit. But, football is a game full of a lot of masculinity.
That
So
is true. Yeah.
there's going to be a little bit of that comes with it. But I'll tell you this, she done a pretty daggum good job, better job than some of the men I've heard do it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
after a quarter or so, I was pretty well used to hearing her talk, and it was no big deal.
Yeah, I just she isn't responsible for this. She can't change it, but I really don't like her voice. But I have that same criticism for some men. Like when I hear like there are some German soccer commentators where I think, oh come on, please not him. I hate his voice.
I kind of
It's
liked
just
it.
that.
I kind of liked it. She had a slight Texas twang. You could hear to her voice.
It's that no it's not the dialect or whatever you want to call it, the accent.
Yep.
It's just the sound, the tonality, if that's the word.
Right.
Which kind of puts me off. But I must say that doesn't that's not I'm missing a word again. God damn it! I wish I was.
I get what you're saying, though. I mean, there are some people you just their voice doesn't.
Yeah,
mesh with you.
What I wanted to say to basically justify myself, because we all know it. You say something wrong, next thing you know is there's some radical feminist like punching down on you.
Yep.
For some weird remark. What I wanted to say is I have at least once heard a German female soccer commentator where I was thinking, I could listen to her for hours. So
yep.
There's that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying all women sound shit when they're commentating sports. I'm just saying her voice is not a voice I like.
For me, after a quarter, I didn't even pay attention to her being female. I just listened to hear. I want to hear somebody that at least knows half of what they're talking about. She did seem to know half of what she was talking about. At least better. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. I follow, different football players on Twitter. A few of them, not very many, but a few. And one of them put out a clip from one of the college games today, and I believe it was Jason Freely, the ex-kicker, that was announcing a college game. I don't know if you've seen this, Minding, but the place kicker kicked a field goal, missed it. I mean, by a country mile, and still said that he made it and that it was 3 points for that team when the display obviously said it was still 0-3.
Yeah, off the crossbar.
Right, it didn't even come close to hitting the upright.
I was thinking, what was he seeing? Did he watch another game?
That or he was drunk or so, who knows? But at least she done better than that.
Even if you're drunk, you see that the ball did definitely not hit the crossbar. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was just how can I say a technical difficulty, let's say.
Well, I wish
that he was seeing some different game or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish my computer would take it and I would play it here. And I've actually, by the way, I have learned OBS, I think. But with the computer issues I've been having, I'm afraid to use it to put too much stress and crash us out again.
Yeah.
But
I understand that.
Look for it on Twitter if you haven't seen it. Right. It's hilarious.
Yeah, with the right settings, OBS isn't actually that hard, but I think we're digressing here.
Yeah. But anyway, do we have any more NFL news other than Cam and female?
Yes, we do.
All right. Hit us up with it.
There has been one transaction that I think was really Funny
Okay.
kicker,
Uh-huh.
but it's not the kicker we would expect after the Thursday night game.
Okay.
Nick Folk is Nick Folk is still with the Buccaneers later tonight. But the San Diego, now Los Angeles Chargers,
Oh
that was
yeah, the
close.
Korean dude.
They released Young Ho Koo
Yep.
and re-signed from I think last season Nick Novak, or maybe a few seasons ago. Nick Novak, he's back in the league now.
Well, can you blame him?
No, not really. But he really had a bad start. I mean,
He really did.
oh, he was So he was with the God, he's a journeyman. If there ever was one, he was with the Bears and the Cowboys in the offseason in 2005. Then with the Redskins, then with the Cardinals in 2006 with the Redskins again. In 2007, what he played in Germany in the NFL Europe for the Cologne Centurions. In 2008, he played for the Chiefs. In 2010, in the offseason, for the Chargers. Regular season, he played for the what? Who? Okay, the Florida Tuskers of the United Football League. Then 2011 offseason with the Jets. Then 4 years from 2011 to 2014 with the San Diego. Last 2 years with the Texans, and now he's back with the Chargers. Holy
He's
crap.
made the rounds.
Yeah, I mean, all the way to Europe. He played a year for the Centurions.
Well, it just tells you how terrible that. What was his last name? Was Ho. Yeah.
No. That was the last syllable of his first name. Koo was his.
Okay. I just
name.
remember that he was Korean, and I remember that he was.
And that he had Ho in his name. I mean,
but
having a first name Young Ho is kind of funny.
yeah, but we've had that discussion before that under today's NFL rules, a kicker that is at least competent, that you can at least count on, is extremely important in today's NFL.
Yeah, they make the most points.
You know, if you don't have a good kicker, you could easily lose a game that you should probably win.
Yep, we saw that on Thursday.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers could have won that one, but Nick Folk missing 3 field goals, including a 31-yard chip shot. We're going to talk about that, but I think we got to get into the games of last week, shall we?
Yep. Let me change tabs here. And let's see, we already covered Bears Packers because that was Thursday. So first up is Saints Dolphins. Saints 20, Dolphins 0. I don't think anybody's really surprised there.
Yeah, not really. I mean, the Saints, what kind of amazes me is that the Dolphins weren't able to even score 3 points. The Saints have one of the worst defenses in this league. And still the Dolphins weren't able to score a single point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Saints haven't been the same Saints this year as they've been. They're a little rough around the edges this year. A mediocre team at best, in my opinion. But not a real surprise. But like you said, like you say, it is a surprise that the Dolphins didn't even score a point. I was not expecting a shutout.
That shows you again how bad the Dolphins are offensively.
Yeah.
Which is, again, kind of amazing because at least they got Jay Ajayi, who isn't that bad of a runner. You can talk shit about Jay Cutler all you want, and I kind of feel like this week's Jay Cutler award should go to Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. It's amazing that they held Ajayi to under 50 yards.
Yeah. Surely they're not going to play Cutler the entire season. I just don't see him making the season before they make a
I
switch.
really think that now is the time for what's that kid's name? Matt Moore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I think they should bring him in.
can't get any worse, you know.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, next up, speaking of Cam Newton, is the Panthers Patriots. Panthers 33, Patriots 30. Um, I'm old and can't rightly remember what I called, but I probably called the Patriots. So I'm a
You
little
didn't.
surprised.
You didn't.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, oh wait, that was sorry. That was last week. Yeah, I think we all called the Patriots there because the Panthers, they're the Panthers. So
Yeah.
we didn't. I think no one expected that.
Yeah.
I don't have the list of what we all picked last week. I just have the final record.
Yeah.
That's all that mattered to me.
I wish we'd have kept track of that because it'd be interesting to know at the end of the season where we fall. And none of us are claiming to be an expert. We're just regular old guys like the rest of you that like to watch football. It's just our opinion.
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, that was a shock that the Panthers would win. Close game, obviously, and a lot of points. So must have not been a whole lot of defense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was I gotta look that up. Damn it. Where's the game? There's the game. There was at least one interception. I think there were more, but let me look. Damn it. Wait. Didn't Tom Brady throw an interception in that game? I have it in front of my eyes right now, in front of my mental eye. I don't know what I'm saying.
I am not.
But
I didn't get to see much of it. I was really busy last Sunday with some personal stuff, so I was.
it was the game they showed on. It was the game they showed on German TV, so I should know. But
the only game I actually saw was the Colts game, and we'll get to that. I wish I hadn't.
No, Cam Newton threw an interception to Malcolm Butler, though. Oh, maybe it was that one. Yeah, incomplete deep right. Yeah, intended for Demier Bird. Yeah, okay, that was that one. I mixed it up. But one interception from the Patriots defense, which is, hey, you take everything you can from that defense.
Yeah.
At this point. And also a fumble from Jonathan Stewart, which he ultimately lost. So the Patriots defense forcing 2 turnovers, still losing.
Yep.
Because they ultimately gave up 373 yards.
And see, that's the issue with their defense doing so bad. Go ahead.
And 7 penalties for 55 yards. The Panthers, 1 penalty for 33. Okay, was a big one, but 1 penalty. The Patriots, 7.
It's a lot of penalties.
I think that's what ultimately lost them the game.
Yeah, with their defense playing that bad, and everybody hanging so many points on them, it puts a lot of strain on the offense. And even when you've got a quarterback like Tom Brady, you can't always count on him to be able to pull it out. You know, when you're struggling that much. Now, is it time to get off the Patriot bandwagon if you're a Patriot fan? Probably not, but it is concerning.
It is. And yeah, maybe this is the last year of Tom Brady.
I'm thinking I thought so going in anyway. And if it keeps going like this, yeah, he'll probably say, I'm done. I'm retired. I've done all I need to do. I got what, 5 rings? Yeah, I got nothing left to prove.
Yeah.
All right, next game. Jaguars 20, Jets 23. This was a who cares game, but I was kind of surprised at the outcome.
In overtime.
Yeah.
We had another overtime game. I think that's the 4th of the season already.
Yep.
I mean,
well, the
so
Colts
many
had
overtimes.
one. The Colts had one, so this one is there's two.
But I'm amazed that the Jets won this one.
Yeah. Well, at least they're off that haven't won a game list.
Well, they were off that list the week before. I mean, they're
Oh
2 and
yeah,
2
that's
now.
right. That's right. That's right. Wow.
So they're actually, I think, in the standings in the AFC East.
That would put them even with the Patriots, wouldn't it?
I think before the Thursday night game, which the Patriots won,
Right.
they were actually, because of the tiebreaker, in front of the Patriots.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Which,
surprising.
at this point, tells you more than enough about both teams.
No kidding.
Who would have thought that? I mean, if more people probably had money on the Patriots going 4-0 and the Jets going 0-4 than both teams being 2-2.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I imagine Las Vegas is going, you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm like, the Jets are really one of the most intriguing teams for me right now in this league. Like, the way they were expected to play and the way they are playing are so far away from each other. I really want to see going forward how the Jets are playing. Maybe it's just a fluke that they won 2 games. I mean, they beat the Browns and the Jaguars. Yeah, maybe not the strongest opponents, but the Jaguars were looking good most of this season so far.
Yeah, I mean, for them, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's clearly unexpected that the Jaguars lose to the Jets. And again, we're talking about the Jets, the team we're all some were expecting to go 0-16, and now they're 2-2.
I'm not real surprised that it was a low-scoring game on both sides. I am surprised at the outcome. I thought the Jaguars would win it. I really did. I think we all.
It's not a low-scoring game.
Well, I'm looking at it individually, you know.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
you're right. But excuse me. Oh, hey, Beware of Darkness is in the chat. What's up, man? Glad to see you. Oh, and by the way, please, if you like what we do here, share this out on Twitter, like the stream, whatever you can do. Let's get the word out there, get some people talking. We love you guys. So
the Jets will forever be cursed.
All right, next game, which was a shocker to me, a major shocker. Titans 14, Texans 57.
Yep.
I am not shocked that the Texans won. We knew that it was a possibility with their defense.
Yeah,
but to hang 57 points on the Titans? Wow.
Yeah, it was a great week for me because I was playing Lamar Miller in, I think, 2 leagues. Not sure right now, but I think in 2 leagues. Damn, he scored some points.
Oh my goodness.
It was fantastic for me to watch. I didn't see the game, but 57. What?
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson was killing it. He had 4 touchdown passes. Okay, 1 interception happens to the best of them. But 25 of 34 for 283 and 4 touchdowns and a pick. He was sacked once.
Yeah. This game,
3-yard loss.
This game did not turn out. I was able to watch some of this game. Last Sunday, I was also on Tailed Features anniversary stream, and was on there for a few hours. So but in the background, I had this game on and I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. Uh, like I said, I knew the Texans could win it, but wow, this lopsided of an affair, I did not expect.
Yep. I mean, Lamar Miller, 75 rushing yards and a touchdown, 56 receiving yards and a touchdown. Will Fuller, 4 receptions for 35 yards, but 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, 10 receptions, 107 yards and a touchdown. I mean, they were lighting it up.
Yeah. You know, we all know that the Texans' defense is strong, one of the strongest in the league, and it's been that way for a little while. But my goodness, that young quarterback they have, I was watching him and he was playing very well through that
Yeah,
whole
he
game.
was.
I mean,
He was.
obviously with 57 points.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at how those 57 points came about, we're talking about wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I stupid right now? 5, 6 touchdowns and 3 field goals. Yeah, 6 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Deshaun Watson scored 5 of those, 4 on the pass. He also had a rushing touchdown. It was just 1 yard, but hey. And the 7th touchdown, 6. So there you have that defense.
No, Beware Darkness. We haven't got to the Green Bay Dallas game yet. Hey, we're a man down. If you want in, if you can, I'll send you the link. If you can't understand, but if you want to come in and hang out with us, just let me know. I'll send you the link. I don't know if you know who Beware of Darkness is, but he's a YouTube friend of mine. Got a channel of about 6,000 people. He's a good guy. Good guy.
I see. Gonna check him out after the stream.
Actually was talking with him earlier. This is a little off subject. I was feeling kind of giddy and fanboyish. I jumped in a stream with him early this morning, or what was early for me, about 10 o'clock in the morning, and was on the stream with Gary Orsom, Suit Yourself, and Bearing.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So what you're telling me is he's got some connections, huh?
A few. Monk, I promise you, I will have you on one. Matter of fact, how about next week? If you went on next week, we'll get. I've been thinking about sending you an invite anyway. I've been going through my list. I can't invite everybody. You don't have to know a lot. We don't either. We just pretend to know a lot about NFL. We make it sound good.
that is absolutely correct.
But it's up to you, buddy. It's up to you. Okay, back to the subject at hand. So yeah, Titans Texan was a huge surprise. Huge surprise.
Yeah, definitely. And I love to talk about this. One of the few things I have like really a genuine passion in or at. I don't know. 57-14 is a score that never happened before in the NFL.
Really?
There was not a single game in over 50 years. Wait, no, the NFL back then started in 1920 or something. So in almost 100 years, there never was a game that ended in 57-14. Which is kind of amazing. I think it's the 4th time in 4 weeks that we just had a score that in the NFL. We had this 46-9 in the first week. With was it the Rams, I think? Now we have this 57-14. All of last season we had one score that never happened before. And now we have 4 in 4 weeks.
Wow.
I love those trivia things. But yeah, on to the next game.
Hang on just a second. I am sending out invite. And we'll go ahead and invite Monk as well.
All right.
We've had 4 people in this stream. It's no biggie. All right. Next game up. Steelers 26, Ravens 9.
Yeah, as expected, I would say.
Yeah, that's that game actually about what I expected. I mean, there's not much else to say about it really because, like you said, it was a pretty well expected outcome. The way the Ravens have been playing of late, last couple of years, Steelers are doing an adequate job. Not lighting the world on fire just yet, but they're hanging in there. About what I expected.
Yeah, and what I must say, for a road game, that was a pretty good performance from the Steelers.
Yeah,
especially the Steelers defense.
We've mentioned over and over on this stream that they are a different team on the road. And it's true. If you've watched any Steelers games, they are a much different team on the road than they are at home. At home, they're darn near unbeatable.
Yeah.
Not quite to Kansas City level yet, but pretty close. On the road, a little different story. So that one wasn't too much of a surprise. Next game, Bengals 31, Browns 7.
I'm amazed that the Bengals were able to score that much. I was more expecting something like, I don't know, 10-7, 13-7.
That's why I done the little when before I announced the game, because I wasn't expecting them to hang that much, not even on the Browns, not the way they've been playing. Yeah. So but the ultimate outcome is not a surprise. We all figured the Bengals would beat the Browns. I think, if I recall correctly. My memory is so bad. I can't remember what I ate this morning for breakfast. So
no. I'm pretty sure we all picked the Bengals. Yeah. But what I want to say about this game is that I think this is the game for the actual game for the award.
And now, the Jay Cutler Award for Worst Quarterback Play of the Week.
I love that
intro. And the Jay Cutler Award for Worst Quarterback Play of the Week goes to DeShone Kizer, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I always feel a bit bad when I'm giving this award to one of the young quarterbacks. I mean, he's 21 years old. He's allowed to make mistakes, but he went 16 of 34 for 118 yards and a pick.
Like
throw the ball 34 times and you only get 118 yards. Yeah, you deserve that.
Well, like
you deserve that award.
Like J-Kid and I both have brought up before, we're both Notre Dame fans. That's our favorite college team. And of course, Kizer played for Notre Dame. So we're familiar with his play and his play style. We mentioned it then. He wasn't that great at Notre Dame. I remember during the game that the Colts played, he played adequately, at least enough to keep it close with us. But the announcers were all going, "Oh, maybe the Browns have finally found their quarterback and solved their quarterback situation and blah blah blah." And I'm thinking, just wait, just wait.
Yeah, but then again, give the kids some time, okay? He's 21. He's evolving.
Oh, I'm not saying he might not get a little better, but Kizer is Kizer, and trust me, what you've seen this week is typical Kizer. It really is.
I still think the big problem for the Browns is that apart from Joe Thomas and who's that guard? Kevin Zeitler, I think, is the guard. Apart from those two, their O-line is just shit.
Yeah.
It's really bad, and he doesn't get enough time. I think that's the problem. And basically the whole system around him. I mean, throw a bad quarterback in a good system, and you see what Matt Castle was able to do with Bill Belichick when Brady was injured for a whole season. I think he went 11-5. And who would expect Matt Castle to go 11-5? Exactly, no one.
Yeah.
See what Trent Dilfer did. He had the perfect team around him. He won a Super Bowl. Was he a good quarterback? Hell no.
Oh, I agree with you. He doesn't have the team around him, but he did at Notre Dame, and he wasn't much better. Trust me on this. Now, can he learn to be better? It's out. You know, the jury's still out on that one, I think. But all I'm saying is as a Notre Dame fan, I am completely unsurprised by his play this week.
All right.
All right.
That's it for the Jake Ward. Next up, I think Bills Falcons, huh?
No, on my list it's the one where I wish we had J Kidd here. Lions 14, Vikings 7.
I still don't understand your order. Like,
there's a schedule on Google that I just pull up every week, and I just go by.
I'm always using NFL.com and Pro Football Reference.
Well, remember, I'm trying to take it easy on my poor old laptop. It won't handle a lot.
Yeah, okay. I understand that you don't take the NFL.com page because that takes a lot of time to load. There are a lot of plugins and everything. But the Pro Football Reference page is a really it's text. It's mostly text, and that loads faster than Google, I think. Maybe you want to try that in the future. Just saying.
Might do it.
Not that you have to, but
no, might do it. It was just the easiest thing for me. And easy's good.
Yeah, I understand you. But yeah, Lions, Vikings 14-7. Sounds like a game no one would really want to watch.
Probably not. I'm trying to remember what J Kidd called, whether he supported his Lions or not last week.
I think he went with the Vikings.
I think he did. I'm not sure if he got a chance to watch this game or not. He doesn't live here, obviously. He lives across town. And so I don't get to talk to him a whole lot. So I'm not sure.
And I'm also pretty sure I'm pretty sure he picked the Vikings. I'm also sure you picked the Vikings.
I think I did.
And I don't want to beat my own drum, but I think I was the only one to pick the Lions.
There's Datewa, our other Lions fan. He says, yes, my Lions D was looking dominant against a third-string quarterback. We'll see this week if their D is for real against the woman-hating Cam Newton.
Not just a third-string quarterback, also a second-string running back. Because Dalvin Cook, while he was on the field, he played very well against that defense. He was the one who scored the touchdown for the Vikings, but then he got injured. And Latavius Murray played, and Jerick McKinnon also got 2 rushes for no gain. Like one for 4 yards, the other for -4. So that tells you everything you need to know about the Vikings backfield. The running back is on injured reserve now, Dalvin Cook. They signed Stevan Ridley. Yeah, he's not going to see a lot of snaps. He's their new third string. And Sam Bradford, he might come back. He's questionable, but he was not playing in that game.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything you need to know. He was out early in the third quarter. He fumbled. He went for 10 yards, then fumbled, and the Lions recovered, and that was the end for him. And then he was out.
Hey, Mara Jane. I'm surprised to see you out there. How you doing?
Oh, wow.
sweetheart?
Hey, Mara.
And Sil, hey, how you doing? Bouncing back and forth between this stream and Bear. And welcome, Beware of Darkness.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going fine. How's it going with you?
Good. I'm eating some spicy pizza, like a buffalo chicken pizza, and I'm drinking some Sprecher cream soda, which is from a place in Wisconsin near Green Bay, where I used to reside.
Oh, don't start talking about Wisconsin. You'll get Minding Freedom going. He's in Germany, but he loves Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of German tradition there.
Exactly. That's why I love it. You see my avatar, right? That is a badger.
Indeed. On Wisconsin.
Okay, so back
Yep.
to the game. What more can you say? The Lions won. At least me and J Kid would have been surprised. But like
I
you say,
wasn't.
no, you weren't. I'll give you props where props are due. Oh, and feel free to chime in here anytime you want to, Darkness. We're not experts. We're just a couple of guys that love the football and just we have an opinion.
Yeah, no worries. I just haven't paid much attention over the last season and the start of this one. I live in St. Louis currently, and the way the Rams left town to Stan Kroenke, even though I'm a Packers fan, has made me very salty towards the NFL. So I've been kind of.
Oh my goodness, you and Minding really are going to get together. Are really going to get along because he's a huge Packers fan. My son, J Kid, who's usually on this stream with us, he couldn't be on today, is a huge Lions fan. So
Right on.
yeah.
I miss the Barry Sanders days.
Yeah, the two of them together are sometimes hilarious.
I miss the 0-16 days.
That too.
All right, so next up we have Rams 35, Cowboys 30. I'm telling you, I wasn't a believer in the Rams, even though they beat my Colts, but that's no big trick this season.
They are the Colts.
Yeah. But I wasn't ready to jump on the Rams bandwagon. But I'm telling you what, they're playing some decent football this year.
They are, and I'm seeing the scoring right now. How both teams scored, the scoring plays. Line's name is in there a lot.
Who's that?
This guy scored 7 field goals.
Oh, is that the Rams kicker?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what when I've been looking at their breakdowns, because I've been paying attention because I just know they're going to bungle it somehow. The large amount of points they've been having in the games have been from special teams and defensive turnovers. This is not the offense firing on all cylinders. As soon as they run into somebody that can stand up to their defense, they're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
But the Cowboys weren't that team.
Yeah, the Cowboys, yes, they're another one of those teams that haven't been up to what we expect out of them this year.
Well, don't the Rams have a new D coordinator too? Because then they pretty much just fire the whole team and start over. So this is a new look Rams that people haven't had a chance to really look over. There's going to be some smart offensive coordinators out there. They're going to find a way to exploit that defense eventually.
Yeah, they pretty much cleaned house.
Oh yeah, they did. I wouldn't say a new defensive core. Well, a new, but not a new. Rather, a very old one. 70-year-old Wade Phillips.
Oh, jeez. I mean, what's the worst that could happen in the modern football era?
There's a whole lot worse choices for your.
Oh, I know, but it just seems like as the game's changed, though, some of those old coaches have kind of struggled to adapt. That's why some of them had to step back from being head coaches and start focusing on being coordinators.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And I think the tandem of 31-year-old Sean McVay as head coach and 70-year-old could be his grandfather.
No kidding. I didn't know there was a head coach younger than me. Wow.
Yeah, 31. Sean McVay. He's younger than some of his players.
No kidding. That would be awkward.
I think almost all of them anymore are younger than me, and that's disturbing.
Well, I mean, I'm 37, so I would expect, at least a player or two to be around. Although in football, that's kind of a tough thing these days.
Yeah. For me, the age scale I'm looking for is the players coming into the league. Like they're younger than me.
Yeah.
But
it's been that way for me.
Pretty much everyone else still older than me, and I kind of like that.
I misjudge football careers lengths because I'm big into baseball and hockey, and then most of the football I watched was during the Brett Favre era. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, quarterbacks can play to 40. Not usually.
Let me address it.
Mara, look at Tom Brady. He's 40.
Well, the greats will, but not usually.
Yeah, let me address the chat just real quick, a little off subject. Mara, the reason I was surprised was not because you showed up particularly, but because you're Australian. And I didn't think you cared anything about American football. That was the surprise.
Yeah, and just to address this, rugby is not superior to gridiron. It's not. Okay?
And he's German. He's not even American. So.
Exactly.
All right.
We didn't even know what football was 3 years ago.
So, next up, Bills 23, Falcons 17.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
I mean, if you needed proof that the Bills are a team you have to count in, there's your proof.
What is up with the AFC with the AFC East? My gosh, it's all upside down.
No, not all. The Dolphins are still shit.
Yeah, but you got the
Some things are perennial.
Yeah, you got the Patriots that are struggling. Yeah. The Jets that are almost even with them. They're in striking distance.
And the Bills in the lead.
Like what?
Yep. I don't get it either. Matt Ryan throwing 2 picks. Again, this is a game where the defense carried the offense.
It's just
mostly. I mean, the Bills forced 3 turnovers. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, it's just an overall shock to me that they could beat the Falcons. Period. Regardless of score, regardless of how they did it, I'd have to say this is probably the most shocking outcome of last week for me personally.
Well, not knowing what's going on, it's shocking. I mean, that was a good football team last time I checked, and Matt Ryan's pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, but they lost their offensive coordinator Shanahan to the 49ers, so
ouch.
I think that's the big blow that they're. Yeah. I mean, if you think Matt Ryan, and you let's say you take out his best year, you take out his worst year, because everyone can have a bad year and everyone can have one good year. Matt Ryan is good. He's not elite.
Exactly. He's in the top of the next tier below the Bradys and the Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. And everyone is now, after that 1 year, after the last year, thinking, some people were even saying, oh, Matt Ryan is elite now. No, he's not.
No.
He's really not. He's still a good quarterback. He can win you games. He's still Matty Ice. He's still cool as ice in the pocket, but he will also make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
And he did in that game with 2 interceptions, and he will also lose you games sometimes.
Yeah. And I have to agree. I would not put Matt up there in the elite quarterback class at all. Good quarterback, sure. Elite, no. Not quite.
I mean, if you look at his quarterback ratings throughout his career, That's his worst year was 2009, his second year in the NFL. He had a rating of 80.9. Okay. That's still kind of decent. I mean, that's kind of average.
Yeah.
And that was his worst year. So he's good. His best year last year, 117.1. He was the MVP. His second best year, 99.1. He didn't, apart from that one year, he didn't have a quarterback rating of over 100 any season. And that is the real Matt Ryan.
Yeah. I mean,
He's going to throw like, I don't know, 9, 10, 12 interceptions a season. He's also going to throw about 30 touchdowns. Maybe 25, somewhere in that region. But he can go 13-3 like he did in 2012 and 2010. He can also go 4-12 like he did in 2013.
Yeah. He could get hot and potentially win them a Super Bowl, but it's all about catching lightning in a bottle for him because he seems to kind of ebb and flow a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. But
the season, it almost evens out completely. Like I said, his second best year, 99 quarterback rating. His second worst year, 87. Close range.
Yeah,
so
no,
over
he's
a season it
consistent.
evens out, but in a season he's got his ups and downs.
Well, yeah, exactly. It seems like he gets season fatigue, maybe not as sharp toward the end. Maybe that's why they don't go as far.
Could be,
might be, and you
I'd have
know
to look
they're
at the stats. I don't know, but just a speculation.
And the Falcons are in a pretty tough division, so you know.
True. Take a big beating there.
I mean, I can look up how he's doing in the. Actually, he's not really having this fatigue. His worst month in terms of quarterback rating, at least, which is the easiest stat to look, is October. With 88.5. Then he's starting strong, then he's falling into a bit of a slump, and then he's becoming better and better, bouncing back. That's kind of his flow.
Datewa in the chat brings up a good point, I think. It kind of seems like Matt Ryan is only interested if he's playing against another good quarterback. And it may be that he played down to the Bills and it bit him in the butt.
Could be. Again, I can take a look at no, he had his best quarterback rating if we're talking about opponents against the Chiefs. And Alex Smith, while this year pretty damn good, wasn't that good in the last few seasons. So, nah.
Right.
I don't know about that. Maybe not.
Okay. Next up, Eagles 26, Chargers 24. Chargers darn near got him one. Daggone.
Again. Did Young Hoo Ko miss one again? Maybe not.
Probably.
The oh, there it is.
Probably. Did you see the joke I told in the Lords of the Night chat the other night?
I don't know which one.
What do Apple products and the NFL have in common?
No Chargers?
Their Chargers suck.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. No, he didn't. At least not a late field goal, from what I can see. He missed. He made all 4. 3 extra points and a field goal. Made all of them. Still cut.
Wow. Tough business.
Yep.
Well, hey guys, I was supposed to have a stream here with your boy Pat here shortly, so I'm gonna bounce out. But I wanted to come in real quick since I didn't get to really talk to you as much, Pops. Well, I had Gary and Bering and who else was
Whitey.
there? Suit. Yeah.
And Whitey. Yeah, no
Whitey.
problem, man. Thanks for popping in. And tell Pat I said, hey, he's my buddy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks a lot for having me in.
You're welcome, man.
See ya.
Anytime. All right. So, is there anything else to say about Eagles Chargers?
No. I mean, well, if you take a look at the last 6 minutes 44 of the game, it's kind of depressing as a Chargers fan. I mean, the Eagles get the ball with 6 minutes 44 and they're up by 2, 26-24. And the Chargers had all 3 timeouts.
Wow.
And the Eagles don't. They keep the drive alive. They don't turn over the ball, and they run down the clock. 3 successful third down conversions. It's amazing.
All right. Next up, we have 49ers 15. That's an odd score. And Cardinals 18. Not surprised at the outcome, but again, surprised that it was so close.
Yeah. Then again, remember, Cardinals are always playing to their
opponent.
To their opponent, yeah. Oh, it's what they do all the time. I mean, look at the Cardinals games this season. Wait a second.
Well,
so unprepared.
I've seen at least one of them when they beat my Colts. So
yeah, so they lose by 12 to the Lions, which was a close game up until the end. They win by 3 in overtime against the Colts. They lose by 11 against the Cowboys, but again, for the longest time, it was a close game. It was 21-17. With 6 minutes and 35 seconds left. And then the Cowboys scored another touchdown with 5 minutes left. So it was, for the most part, a close game until they blew it in the fourth. And now against the 49ers, they win 18-15 in overtime. I'm expecting to see the Cardinals having probably another 12 close games this season. I don't see one team where they couldn't hang until the fourth quarter, but then again, they're going to blow some leads. They're going to blow some games, and they're not a contender in any capacity. I don't think they will have a winning record or even a tied record. I think they will go 7-9 at best.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Next up, Giants 23, Buccaneers 25. My poor Giants. At least the Colts have got one win.
Yeah. I mean, it was against the Browns, so that doesn't really count as a win.
It's still a W. And the Giants are still chasing theirs. So, I mean, yes, it was the Buccaneers at the Bucs. But I don't know. I think
when I'm looking at the team stats, there's always a certain order for me to look at things.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I look at, turnovers. Mm-hmm. Situational game. If you can create a turnover, you bring the other team off the field without any points, no matter where you have that interception or fumble recovery. If you can create that turnover, all in most of the time the same spot, plus minus 10 yards, where the offense had the ball. Yeah, that's the first thing I look at. And in that game, not a single turnover from any team. So
really?
That's bad for both teams. Yeah, that's bad for both teams. Then the second thing I look at is total yards. If you create yards, most of the time you can also move the sticks. You can keep a drive alive, and you can get your way into the red zone and hopefully score some points. Buccaneers outscored the Giants in terms of yards by 55. Yeah, 55 yards. 434 to 379. Not much. And the third thing, I've got a lot of TH in there, I look at is the time of possession. You keep a drive alive, you take time off the clock. And the Giants won that one. 34 minutes 13 for the Giants, 25 minutes 47 for the Buccaneers. So I don't get why the Giants lost this. Like they could have easily won. It was a very even game, no turnovers, defenses were bad. It's amazing they only scored 25-23 and not in the 30s.
Yeah.
But that also is part responsibility of Nick Folk.
Yeah.
He missed 1 extra point and 2 field goals.
Well, as much as I like the Manning family, and I do, all the way back to Archie, and
I don't.
and of course Peyton, who played 14 years here in Indy, who was in town today to be put in the Ring of Honor, by the way. But I think it's time to sit Eli. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he didn't play spectacularly bad in that game. 30 of 49, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns, no pick, which is good.
Right.
I mean, 91 quarterback rating. Okay. Can work with that. But overall, his whole season, and I want to see one thing. I see some game splits here. I really want to see some game splits. I think I can. Damn it. But I want to see what Eli did on third downs. Because this is where it matters. Okay. Complete but short. Incomplete. Complete and enough for a first down. So 1 of 3. He got a pass interference, so that doesn't count at all. 1 of 4. 0 of 1 fourth down conversions. Fucked up that one. 1 of 5. 1 of 6. Holy crap. 1 of 6. Oh man. 2 of 7.
Well, I tell you, when I look at the Giants play, and I've made it very clear, they're my second favorite team besides the Colts. They're the team that I'll go out of my way to watch and root for. Oh, good night, Mara Jane. Take care of them kiddos. Here's what I see, and this is my problem. This is why I'm saying that I think that Eli needs to sit. There's a lack of leadership on that team.
Yeah.
There's nobody, it seems, stepping up and saying, hey, let's cut this out. Let's straighten this out. Let's, even to the coaches, there just seems to be a lack of leadership. And Eli, that should be his job as the quarterback, to step in there and take control of that team, especially if the coaches aren't going to.
But he never did in his whole career. He never was the guy to step up and be like, you know what, we're gonna do this.
There's a lot of difference between Eli and Peyton. I mean, we could be here all day listing the differences, but that's one of the big glaring differences. When Peyton was here for those 14 years, he ran the team. Period.
Yeah. I heard one story about Peyton that I think you would never hear about Eli. Adam Vinatieri told this, I think, a few days ago on Good Morning Football.
Yep.
He said his favorite memory of Peyton Manning was in one game. Peyton Manning was I think it was on third down or something, and his tight end back then, Jacob Tamme, who's now with the Falcons, I think, or he was with the Falcons last season at least, created a false start. The first thing Peyton did was tell him, "You go off the field."
Oh yeah,
and affirmative in that. He was. You go. I don't want to see your face on that field.
Oh, it was well known.
And not just that. That is not where the story is over. It goes on.
Okay.
Peyton and his team win, and they're going for the victory formation, which Jacob Tamme usually was a part of in that day. And Peyton was like, "No, you go back out there." He didn't even want him for the victory formation.
Oh yeah, I mean, people probably at least recall that Peyton was on Saturday Night Live a few times, and there was one bit that he did where he was yelling at a bunch of kids playing football with him, and he was yelling at them and screaming and getting in their face.
Yeah,
that was more real than you know. That's exactly how he played with the team in practice. Yeah. And one of the reasons we were successful throughout the Peyton Manning years is because the coaches knew that he could handle things and they let him do it.
Yeah.
I do not doubt the Jacob Tamme thing whatsoever. And you'll notice that there's no mention of the coach correcting Peyton at all.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, if Peyton said get off the field, you get off the field.
Yeah, exactly. And you would never expect this to happen from Eli. Like Eli would never do that.
No.
I mean, I hate to bring a bit of politics into this, but at this point, I would call Eli low energy Eli.
Yeah.
And the same for Ben McAdoo as a head coach. I mean, he was a what was he, offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach for the Packers at some point in the last few years. So he was a Packers coach, and I think he's a cool guy. He's sympathetic.
Yeah. And that's not surprising, Mug.
Yeah, he was tight ends.
He says Jacob Tamme is a free
tight ends
agent.
coach. He's been tight.
Go ahead.
Oh, he's a free agent. Okay.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Not surprising.
Yeah,
he was a decent tight end. Not off the charts, but he was serviceable. Yeah. He not somebody you're going to expect to find in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. So Ben McAdoo was the tight ends coach for 6 years, from 2006 to 2011, and the quarterbacks coach for 2 years for the Packers. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. I've seen a fair bit of him.
Yep.
And he's a friendly guy. Everything. I personally like him, but he's missing that energy. And as a head coach, you must be able to have that energy if needed. You don't need to be this Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin guy that always runs up and down on the sidelines. No need for that. Tom Coughlin wasn't that guy. I mean, Tom Coughlin, for one, was old, so he couldn't run up and down the sideline, but he didn't have to. But he was still, he had a strict hand when he had to.
Oh yeah,
he also was lenient when he could have been. When he was like, okay, you know what, it's okay. That didn't hurt.
One look at Tom, and you could tell he wasn't a guy that put up with any crap.
if you pull some crap, Tom Coughlin's on you. He's in your face about it.
But in my opinion, and you're agreeing with me, in my opinion, the Giants' biggest problem this year is there's just a lack of leadership. Yeah. To me, it's so apparent. And
how many games? Sorry, just to underline that argument. And sorry for interrupting you. I know that's a bad habit from me. I try.
It's all right. Trust me, I can overtalk you if I want to.
Okay, good. I'm always feeling bad when I do that, but I have this thought that needs to get out or I lose it.
I have control of the mute button too, so
Exactly. So if I talk over you too much, just mute me for a second. It's okay. I understand it. What I wanted to say is, how many games did the Giants win since that boat trip with the wide receivers, Odell, and everyone? Single one.
Yeah.
They didn't win a single game. And that was the situation where leadership was needed.
Yeah.
Telling the guys that was not okay. I mean, you can go on a boat trip in the off season, you can have some fun then, but not at this point. I mean, it was right before the postseason, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Miami boat
Believe so.
trip. Yeah. So you can't do that. You can't just in the preparation to the next to the first playoff game, which they again ultimately lost to the Packers. You can't go on a boat trip. You got to prepare, and that's the lack of leadership we're talking about here. And since then, they haven't won a single game. They're 0-5 now since that event.
If the coaching staff is not going to get a handle on it, then Eli's going to have to step up. And if Eli's not going to step up, they need to get somebody in there that can. Now, from watching the talking heads, all the NFL experts on TV and all that, some of them are saying that they've been bringing in ex-players. I was watching Phil Simms, who, of course, was a New York Giant, talk about they brought in players and tried to talk to different ones of the team and so forth, but evidently it's not doing any good. Somebody's got to step up and say, hey, we got to be a team instead of a bunch of individuals. And that's what I see out of the Giants right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now maybe who could be a leader for that team. If I'm looking,
Mug says Colin Kaepernick is available.
No, Kaepernick is not a leader. Kaepernick is not a leader.
He'd probably fit in on that team right now.
Yeah, but he wouldn't make it better.
Yeah, no.
The thing is, on defense, they do have leaders. They have Jason Pierre-Paul. They have guys like Janoris Jenkins, Landon Collins. Those guys can lead. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. They are vocal if they need to. So they know how to lead. But they need one on offense.
Yep.
I don't see anyone there.
No.
I really don't. Like the oldest Brandon Marshall, maybe, but Brandon Marshall has his own issues.
Yeah.
Not taking away from his play. He's a good wide receiver. Not this season, but he used to be.
He's starting to show up a little bit. He's starting to catch on and get into the mix of things a little. Not as much as they had hoped, but a little.
Yeah. But maybe, just an idea, bring back Victor Cruz.
Maybe.
That guy's 30 now, turns 31 in November. He's not the best receiver. He regressed a lot in the last few years. But you don't want him out there for performance. You want him out there because he's a leader.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Because he can rally that team around, and especially he can rally that wide receiver core around him.
Yeah, I don't see any hope for the Giants this year. And if they don't snap out of it, I can see them at this point being in contention for first pick in the draft.
Yeah, at this point, there's a good chance. If they don't turn this ship around, they are in contention for that one.
I think the ship for being in contention in their division has already passed. They've done past that. There's no hope for them. They're not going to the playoffs. But if they don't get it turned around, they might not win very many games this year, if any at all. But anyway.
Blood.
Yeah.
Blood. Playoffs?
Playoffs?
We're talking about playoffs? We hope we can win a game.
And that happened in my city. All right. Next game up.
That.
Let's get to the end of this because we've got next week's to go here.
Yeah.
Raiders 10, Broncos 16. I thought the Raiders would win it, but I can't say I'm totally shocked that the Broncos did. Two good teams facing each other. You always know it could go either way.
Yeah, but again, I think I said it last week. Mile High is too much of a stadium, of a situation to handle for the Raiders, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, too big a stage, you think?
Not too high a stage, I would say. It's too different from every. I mean, you also must say Derek Carr played half the game and then got injured, so
yeah,
you got to give him that.
And
but
I think that played a big part in it.
Derek Carr, yeah, but Derek Carr didn't play that well either. Well, 10 of 18, that's good, but 143 yards, touchdown, okay, quarterback rating of exactly 100. Yeah, good. Some would say great, maybe, but not for a single or not for a one half. Half he played. But I mean, the rushing offense wasn't there. The best rusher for the Raiders was Marshawn Lynch with 12 yards.
Yep.
Yeah. That tells you everything you need to know about the rushing game for the Raiders in that stadium, in that game. On the other hand, the Broncos, CJ Anderson, 95 yards. Jamal Charles, 5 rushes for 33. Even Devontae Booker, 3 rushes only, but 14 yards. A 5, a 5, and a 4. So that's giving you some good yardage there. And I think that the Raiders were just not able to adapt to that situation of playing a mile high above the water.
The Raiders are showing a few chinks in their armor. I'm not saying it's time to abandon ship or anything like that because I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now. I really do. But they are starting to show a few chinks in their armor. Maybe teams are starting to figure them out a little bit. You know, that happens. So the roll is slowing a little bit. But all in all, I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. But with a score of 10-16, I did not see the game, but it sounds like it probably was a good one.
Yeah, sounds like it. Well, 2 touchdowns. But did you see the touchdown from AJ Derby?
No.
Broncos tight end, I think second tight end, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he's the first. I don't know. Doesn't matter really. He had a great one-handed sideline touchdown catch for 22 yards. He was catching it, I think, 5 yards in front of the end zone with one hand to the back shoulder, and then just stayed inbounds and got into the end zone. Great catch. It was all over every sports show in the last few days.
Well, you got to remember, through the week, I'm a pretty busy old guy babysitting 4 young grandkids, so
oh, yeah.
I don't get a chance
to.
I'll tell you how I do this stream. I go through my regular routine on the week, and then on Saturday morning, I'm rushing around trying to find news and what to talk about because honestly, I'm kept pretty busy. And hey, I've been on a roll. I've missed one day putting out a video, and that was made up by I had 2 days I put out 2 videos. So, yeah, how about that? But yeah,
nice.
I didn't get this. But, okay, next, the real crap show of the week. Oh my God! You already know what I'm getting ready to talk about. The Colts 18, Seahawks 46. Oy vey. Oh my gosh. Now, I wish J Kid would have been here because I would get him to admit that I called this game, because he kind of called me out a little. I called this game almost to a T. I said that they would make an interesting first half. They went into the first half with the lead. I said they'd get at least a couple of interceptions. So before I quit watching, they had 3 and a safety. And I also said that it would be ugly and they would find a lose in the second half. I mean,
wait, three interceptions?
Or not 3.
2.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm counting one of the a fumble recovery. At any way, they had at least matched what I called.
6.
Yeah.
1 pick 6. So,
and it could be I'm trying. My mind might be trying to stick that safety in there.
No, there were 2 turnovers by the Seahawks altogether, so there wasn't a fumble recovery either.
Yeah. So, at any rate, I called it, and it was ugly. The first half was good. You go ahead. I don't have
2.5 minutes with 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. So 2.5 minutes in the books. It was 18-18.
Yep.
And then McKissick ran for 30 yards and a touchdown. Then Bobby Wagner returned a fumble for 21 yards. Then Luke Wilson caught a pass, and J.D. McKissick caught a pass.
I mean, in the first half, the Colts were playing well. Were they playing lights out? No. But they were playing pretty good football, enough to shut up that crowd. And if you can shut up the crowd at Seahawks, that's doing something.
Yeah.
And then they come out, and the wheels fell off. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, again, when I look at the team stats, first thing, turnovers, 2-2. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad that you give up 2 turnovers on offense, but it's also good that you can create 2 turnovers against the Seahawks. Second thing I look at, total yards, and Seahawks more than double the yards of the Colts, 477 to 237. And time of possession, Seahawks 32 minutes 12, Colts 27 minutes 48. So it's the yards. And I'm pretty sure most of those yards came in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. We had them pretty much wrapped up in the first half. They couldn't run the ball hardly at all. And I mean, I think there was one like 30 or 40 yard run, and that was about it. You know, and you're going to break those once in a while, even against a great defense. But now, having said all that, I'm not saying bench Brissett. He's a heck of a lot. He's still better quarterback than the guy we started the season with.
Scott Tolzien.
Yeah. The only hope that we have, and I hope this is not too soon, we talked about it last week, if they have to keep Andrew benched the whole season. But now the talk is, and he did practice. He did practice. It was very limited, but he did practice. And they're talking about him maybe returning in a couple of games. If it's too soon, don't. But good Lord, if he's healthy, we could sure use him.
Yeah. But I think the bigger problem is probably probably the offensive line. I mean, left tackle Costanzo he's a good left tackle. But when I look at the others, I don't know.
Costanzo's good, a bit overrated at times, but he's good.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I tend to give they're not good. No, I'm not saying that, but I tend to give them a little bit of a pass because if you pay attention, that offensive line is never the same one game to the next. They're all being switched around. Yeah.
Blood, you might want to look at your Twitter. Monk send you the video of the catch from AJ Derby for the Broncos.
Oh yeah.
You might want to watch that. But yeah, I don't know what to say about this game. You called it perfectly. You know your Colts.
Yeah, J-Kid got a little upset at me when I said they'll make a competitive half. Are you kidding me? I figured they would, and they did. I mean, they would end leading, what was it,
They led.
15-10, something like that?
Yeah, 15-10, yeah.
Wow, that's a heck of a catch. Heck of a catch.
Yep.
Did they check his hands for glue?
Probably.
I mean, that ball got to one hand and it stayed there. It didn't move.
But if that's your number 3 tight end, from what Monk said in the chat, Derby is their number 3 tight end, you have no issue on that position.
No kidding. But yeah, it was painful to watch. I think I finally gave up when they were. I don't know. I think when they first went up 3 scores on them, I said, "Yep, we're done. We ain't coming back from that. I can't take any more." I'm a fan. I love my Colts, and I'm not a fair weather fan, but there's only so much you can handle.
Yeah, I understand that. I remember one game, just keeping that short, was a Lions Packers game of all games, of all opponents. And the Packers lost 10-40. And I was like, this is going to be the first game I'm going to watch in a sports bar. Because I never did that before. And I never did that after. Because I was like, come on, that definitely has got to do with me watching that game right here. And I was sitting right next to I wore my Packers jersey, one of my Packers jerseys, and I sat right next to someone with a Lions jersey. And we didn't talk that whole evening. So I was so pissed. Like, the Packers gave it away early and didn't come back. Didn't even try. It was so bad to watch. I was like,
it was a good thing that wasn't left. It was a good thing that wasn't J-Kid sitting next to you, because he would have seen you being ticked off and would have seen that as blood in the water. He would have let you have it.
There wouldn't have. There probably wouldn't have just been blood in the water. There would have been blood elsewhere. If you tick me off too much, oh God, I left the sports bar, I think mid third quarter, because it was just so unbearable to watch.
Okay, enough of that misery. We got 2 more games to cover, and then we got to get next week. Redskins 20, Monday night game. Redskins 20, Chiefs 29. Not a huge surprise, really.
I watched that game not fully. I think I started watching third quarter or so. I zapped into it. I hated this game because I think I mentioned it last week. In Madden, you have these predictor these predictor sets where you get a certain challenge. They tell you like something. In this game, I think it was Chiefs win against the Redskins by at least 7. And I was like, I like my chances on taking the points here. So Redskins +7. Yeah, I take it. And with 4 seconds left, the game was 23-20. And then the Redskins try a hook and ladder play. And it's returned for a touchdown by the Chiefs. And they win by 9. Boy.
Yeah.
you never heard me cuss so much. That was the moment I started to hate both teams. I still think the Chiefs are a very good team, definitely a playoff contender, maybe even a Super Bowl contender. From Monday night on, I hate them.
Oh, yeah. I think the Chiefs are probably in contention for being certainly in the playoffs and probably in the running for Super Bowl this year if they keep up the caliber of play. Now, being behind last minute, little concerning, but hey, any team any given day, right?
Yeah. But I think I called that game pretty well. I think I said that game will be close to the very end, and it was like 23-20 with 4 seconds left.
Yeah,
that is close. Like,
yes, it is. All right, moving on. One last game to cover, then we get to next week. Thursday night game: Patriots 19, Buccaneers 14.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you.
Sure.
The final records for week 4 of our picks were you went 7-9. J Kid went 7-9. 7.
Well, it's a long season.
It is, but yeah, it's looking good so far for me.
It just proves what I said earlier. We're not experts. We're just guys that love football.
You're not an expert. I'm expecting a contract from Fox Sports any day.
Right.
I wish. I really want to work for them.
Okay.
Or not ESPN. ESPN.
Yeah. So Patriots 19, Buccaneers 14. Hey, you're not going to keep Tom Brady down forever.
Yeah, did you watch the game?
I did not. Again, Thursday nights are on cable around here, and I don't have cable.
Okay, yeah. I aren't they also on Amazon Prime?
Might be. I don't have Amazon either. I'm poor.
Okay.
Minding, I'm poor.
I'm a college student, which means by definition, I am poor as well. But I have Amazon Prime, so I watched that game.
But are you feeding 7 people?
I'm feeding 1.5. which is basically a joke on my own weight. But yeah, I watched that game, and it was not really entertaining, I must say. The most entertaining part was when Nick Folk, the kicker, missed his 3 field goals. Like the first one was 56 yards. Stupid by the Patriots, because I gotta look that up. Wait a second. There it is. Yeah, the Jameis Winston with the Buccaneers, they were at their own 27 with a 2nd and 5 and 9 seconds left. No huddle. They had no timeouts. 9 seconds left, 2nd and 5 on their own 27. Jameis Winston throws for 5 yards to Charles Sims over the middle. And at this point, you think, all right, that's the end of the half. That's it. It's over. And Dietrich Wise commits roughing the passer. Boom, 15 yards extra, and the clock stops. So now you have 2 seconds left. 1st and 10 on the Buccaneers 47. Incomplete pass, deep right to Chris Godwin. But again, roughing the passer, this time by Cassius Marsh.
Oh, my.
And you get an untimed down at the Patriots 38, which means 56-yard field goal. Because of 2 completely asinine roughing the passer penalties. There was no need to commit those. Those weren't roughing the passer penalties where you were like, yeah, it is roughing the passer, but he couldn't really stop his motion. No, it was just plain stupid by both Wise and Marsh. So they get a 56-yard field goal, and they can be happy that Nick Folk missed that one. There are kickers in the NFL who make that.
Right.
Nick Folk is not one of them. But that's the Patriots defense in a nutshell for you.
Right.
It's so stupidly played. And then Nick Folk missed a 49-yarder at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And then with 5 minutes 39 left and a score of 7, a 31-yard chip shot. That's less than a PAT. PAT 33-yarder. He could have gotten the game to 16-10. And afterwards, with 2 minutes and 9 left, the Buccaneers scored a touchdown. That would have been 16-17.
Yeah. Well,
but he missed a 31-yarder. And I'm pretty sure that he won't play next week.
Well, like I've mentioned almost every stream since we've started, due to the rule, and I like the changes in the rules, due to the changes in the rules in the last couple of years in the NFL, a kicker has become much more important.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example.
The funny thing is the kickers, as soon as those rule changes happened, they were crying. They were like, "Oh no, it's the PAT is so hard." No, some of them.
Yep.
What I'm seeing is if you are a really good kicker and you're very consistent and maybe even clutch, you can make more money now because you're more important to the team. You can ask for a better contract.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Use that opportunity.
It's a good time and a bad time to be an NFL kicker.
It's a good time when you're a really good one. And it's a bad time when you're a bad kicker.
Yeah, because it's very glaring what you cost your team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we've seen so many games this season already decided by kickers. And
hey, the next 6
in both ways, like not just
right
by making field goals last second, but also missing field goals and PATs.
Right.
But yeah, we only have 11 minutes. Oh God.
Yeah, we've kind of talked it up today, didn't we? All right. First up, this must know I'm a Colts fan because it sticks at first. 49ers at Colts.
You go first. It's your team.
Two not really good teams. But it is at home. I'm going to go with the Colts only because it's at home, and that's it. That's my only reason. It's not because I think the Colts are a better team than the Niners, because I think they're both bad teams.
Blood, you cut Blood. Me, but you cut out there for a second.
Am I cutting out, chat? Because you're cutting out to me. So.
Oh, then it's me. Okay.
Okay.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's fine. No,
good.
what I was saying was I'm going to go ahead and go with the Colts only because it's at home. Because they're both bad teams. It's not because I think the Colts are better than the Niners, because I don't. They're both bad teams. But they are home, and it's a little bit of a special. Let's hope Peyton Manning rubbed off on the town, because, like I said, he wasn't down to be putting a ring of honor.
You better hope he rubbed off on Jacoby Brissett.
Let's see. And J-Kid, like I said, he did send me his picks. So he picked Niners over Colts. So he's going the other way.
Oh. I'm with you on that one. I also picked the Colts with the same reasoning as you. Right, both teams are pretty much equally bad, but the Colts play at home, so they got that advantage for them.
Yeah,
and they will make it on that.
Okay, next, Jets at Browns.
No.
Hey, what's up with this week? Is this going to be another one of them who the heck cares weeks?
Seems so. Seems so. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Jets at Browns. God, Browns, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go with the Jets just because they are the Browns. Yes, they've played some better ball this year, but they're still the Browns. I'm going to go with the Jets. Let's see.
What does J Kid have?
That's what I'm trying to look through. He's got it all jumbled up, so I'm looking through a wall,
Okay, I see.
wall of text. Browns over the
you
Jets.
he's got. It's a tough one. I just can't see the Jets going 3-2.
Well, he's
really, like,
he is.
His reasoning for the Browns is
he put a note on the end of it. No 0-16.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. Just because he doesn't want to see the Browns go 0-16. And I think that's why he has the 49ers over the Colts as well, because the 49ers are 0-4 as well.
Yeah.
But again, I can't see the Jets go 3-2. It's just unimaginable. So I'm gonna go with the Browns as well. If only for the reason that the Jets can't go 3-2, and the Browns are at home, so they got a chance.
Next up, oh lordy, Chargers at Giants.
Well, one team is going to be 0-5.
Yeah. My
Question is
goodness.
which one?
The matchups this week. Of course, going into the season, who knew? But
yeah,
it's at the Giants. Dadgummit, man. The Giants
you want me to go
pull,
first?
The Giants got to pull one out somewhere. And I'm going to go on record by saying this is where they do it. It's going to be a close game, but the Giants are going to win at home.
All right. I'm with you on that one. Before you can look for J Kid's pick. I'm with you on that one. I think this is the first game the Giants win. Again, if only for home field advantage. Like,
yeah.
If this game was in LA, it would be 50-50 because the Chargers don't really have a home field advantage because no one's showing up. But if people would show up, even if it's just the 30,000 they get in there, or even 20,000, they could win it, or they would be more likely to win this. But I'm going with the Giants.
And J Kid picks the Giants as well. Well,
first game we're all on the same team.
Hey, that'll be interesting. That'll affect the standings. All right. Next up. Oh, my gosh, Bills at Bengals.
I mean, remember the Bills are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's and the Bengals, at least they have a good defense.
Yeah.
A good, not a great one, but a good one. I'm picking the Bills. Close,
yeah.
But I'm picking the Bills. But it's gonna be a low score game.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Bills. J Kid, however, is taking the Bengals.
Oh.
So boy, we're all over the place today. Next one up. Ooh, Panthers at Lions.
Oh boy.
Sorry, son. I'm gonna have to take Panthers. It's not an easy call for me. I know that sounded quick, but I think the Panthers are gonna pull it out in a close game.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that one. I don't like it, but I'm picking the Lions.
And so is J Kid. Surprise!
Yeah, obviously. But I think it's gonna be a close game too. Like, the Panthers are gonna stay in this, but ultimately they fall short.
Yeah, I agree, Monk. It's a pretty crap week for games, but who knew going in? You know, when they made up the schedule, I'm sure they didn't think that the games that we've talked about so far were going to be such crap.
I mean, there three good games coming up. Yeah,
Yeah.
at least. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Titans at Dolphins. On the surface, I would say the Titans are going to smash them. It's going to be not even pretty. That's my take.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Titans going to win this, but smashing, maybe. I think it's going to be at least a touchdown.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to be a smash.
I
would guess if I had to like pick a certain score, 17-7, maybe.
I think the Titans
Yeah,
come in and are embarrassed as heck over the loss they just had.
Oh yeah, they want to redeem themselves,
and they're gonna play balls to the wall, lights out. And we all know Jay Cutler, so I just don't think he's gonna be able to keep up with Mariota. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a smash. But okay. Jay Kidd says Titans over Dolphins.
Is Mariota gonna play?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Let me look it up. He's optimistic about playing week 5, but he's questionable and a game time decision.
Yeah.
But most signs have suggested Mariota probably won't play. He was limited to stationary throws at practice this week. But he told reporters Friday that he only needs a little mobility to play. Matt Castle would fill in if Mariota isn't given the green light. I still go Titans.
Oh yeah,
on the
Castle.
other side,
Castle, as backups go, is very serviceable. I mean, he's one of the better backups, in my opinion, as backups go. So yeah, I would still pick the Titans. Might not be a smash in that case, but
yeah, that's my thinking as well. If Mariota plays, it's probably gonna be, I don't know, 24-7 or 24-10. But if Castle's playing, 17-7, 17-10.
All right. Next up should be a much better game than what we've talked about so far. Cardinals at Eagles.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Oh wait, what is Jacob picking in that Titans game?
Titans.
Okay, yeah, I thought so, but we gotta have that on record. Cardinals, Eagles. I think Eagles are gonna smash the Cardinals out of the stadium. I mean, it's not gonna be pretty for the Cardinals. Maybe they're gonna hang for like 2.5 quarters, but mid-third quarter they're gonna fall apart, just like the Colts fell apart. Basically, it's not gonna be pretty.
Earlier in the season, I would have said the Cards had a chance at it. But at this point, and their lackadaisical play in the last 3 games or so, I'd have to say Eagles. Jay Kidd's picking Eagles as well.
All right.
Next up is Ravens at Raiders.
Okay. I mean, Raiders at home. I take it. Yeah. I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
I'm gonna have to say Raiders. I do think it's gonna be a close game. Not because the Ravens are that great a team, because they're really not right now, but because I think teams are starting to catch on to the Raiders a little bit. Do we know, how long is Carr out for?
That's a good question. Wait a second. The Las Vegas Review Journal reports Derek Carr is campaigning to play this week. Carr looked better than expected in 2 limited practices, but doesn't have much of a chance to play despite his questionable tag. EJ Manuel got the majority of first-team reps and remains on track to start. Carr is, however, ahead of schedule in his recovery and should return in Week 6 against the Chargers. Oh, poor Chargers.
Mm.
But even with EJ Manuel, they're gonna win this.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say Raiders. Now, again, J Kidd disagrees and says Ravens.
Maybe he's factoring EJ Manuel in stronger than we do.
Probably. Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Next game up, Seahawks at Rams, which is a better game than probably expected before the season started.
Exactly.
I'm not saying I'm now a Rams believer. I am impressed by them. And I can't factor in. Yeah, I can't factor in the last game against the Colts because it was the Colts after all. I'm going to go Rams.
Wait, Rams? Seahawks against.
Yeah, Seahawks at Rams.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a close one.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams do have the better record. However, I think they had the easier schedule so far. The Cowboys weren't as good as they used to be last season, so you got to remember that. Who else did they play? God damn it. Where is that? I'm stupid right now. Can't even use my own laptop. There we go. The Colts, 46-9. You remember?
Yeah, I recall.
They lost to the Redskins, and then they beat the Niners by 2, and the Cowboys by 5.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not as good as some make them out to be. And if you look at the Seahawks schedule, they lost to the Packers and the Titans. Both times on the road.
Right.
Now, this game against the Rams also on the road for the Seahawks. However, I think the Rams are not as strong as the Packers, and I also think the Rams are not as strong as the Titans. So I think the Seahawks are going to win closely, though.
Yeah. And J Kidd is picking, and I just had it. Oh, Seahawks.
And which team are you picking? Sorry.
I think the Rams. I think their home field advantage will give them just enough advantage to come out, to squeak out of that one.
All right.
Next up, your Packers at Cowboys.
Oh man. Oh damn it. I think the Cowboys have the higher chance of winning. However, I cannot pick against my own team. I really cannot. Like every it's the Cowboys. If it was against, I don't know, some AFC team, not the Patriots, but maybe, I don't know, the if it was against the Steelers, I'd have no problem to say, oh yeah, Steelers, but not the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The last few years, and not just the last few years, the last few decades, all the way back to the Ice Bowl. No, I have to go against my gut feeling. My gut feeling is Packers are going to lose, but I can't say it.
Well, I'm going to do what you've done to me from time to time this season, and give you more hope in your home team. And I'm going to go with the Packers. I don't see that they can lose this. And J Kidd actually agrees with us on this one.
What? I mean, just because the Cowboys lost to the Rams doesn't mean they're shit all of a sudden. Yeah, they're not as good as they were last season, but they're not shit. And especially at home, Jerry World is a fortress. So
It is, but the Packers are not the Rams. I mean,
that is correct.
are there some issues? Sure, but they're still a very good team. I'll give you
they
credit.
don't have a running game. We don't have a running game at this point. Maybe Ty Montgomery comes back, but if not, we are stuck with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is his name. Yeah, third string running back going into the season and a rookie. So I don't know.
Next up, Chiefs at Texans. Oh,
wow!
Should be a defensive game.
That's a game worth of a night game.
Yeah.
Sunday night's gonna be blazing.
It should be quite the defensive game,
no matter what. Yeah, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be smash mouth defense. There's gonna be sacks and interceptions and fumbles everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. And it's a hard one. It's a hard one to call. It really is. If it was at the Chiefs, I would have less problems calling it. But it's at Texans.
Yeah. In Arrowhead, you can count on the Chiefs winning against pretty much every opponent. But
and
in
with
Houston Energy Stadium,
as long as it stays a defensive game, and does not become dependent on a lot of scoring from the offenses, I'm going to go with the Texans, only because they're at home. That's it. Now, don't get me wrong. Chiefs are one of those teams that play just as well away as they do at home. But I'm going to go with Texans. Yep.
What does J Kid have?
Let's see.
Because if both of you have Texans, I go with the Chiefs. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing. But if he has the Chiefs, and
by the way, on the Packers over Cowboys, he did put a note. Hope I'm wrong on this one.
Of course he did.
He's going Chiefs over Texans.
Oh no. Well, that leaves me pretty much in a pickle. I'm going Chiefs as well.
Yep.
Just because I think they are so much better overall than the Texans, that they can overcome that home field advantage that the Texans have.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because the Texans are in my division. And even though my team has no hope, any loss with a division rival is not bad. It's not a bad thing. But yeah. All right. Vikings at Bears. That's Monday night.
I mean, we all have the Vikings, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
Bradford, by the way, Bradford is still questionable, but things are looking good for him.
Yeah, J-Kid has Vikes over Bears. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Bears.
And let's flip tabs to the Thursday night game.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, Sam Bradford is listed as questionable. He practiced all week, putting him on track to play Monday night. The Vikings averaged 250-plus pass yards in Case Keenum's 3 starts, so Bradford's return is more of an upgrade for Kyle Rudolph and Minnesota's red zone offense. With Dalvin Cook's sideline, the Vikings should feature a pass-heavy game script, but Bradford could struggle in a shy-away matchup against an underrated secondary in his first game back. That's interesting. Yeah, they do have the Bears. If anything, they do have a good secondary, but I still think Bradford, with the play he is able to put up, or has been able to put up the last 1.5 years, he can play against that secondary. He can.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Vikes. So does Jake Kidd.
Yeah. All right, and the next Thursday night game.
Eagles at the Panthers.
All right. Oh God, that's a tough one.
It is.
Eagles at Panthers. Well, considering I picked the Eagles to win and the Panthers to lose, and the Eagles are playing a weaker opponent with the Cardinals in my book, but and the Panthers are playing a weaker team against the Lions. That's a tough one.
It is. Tougher than it might look.
It's at Carolina, right?
It's at Carolina.
Oh God. I don't know.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick Panthers. J Kid is also picking the Panthers.
Okay, that makes it easier for me. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Whatever he says, I'm going the opposite.
No. Whatever both of you say. When it's one of you going one way and the other going the other way, I'm torn. But just to score some points on both of you and some right picks on both of you, I'm going the other way.
You're starting to get it.
However, only on those games where I'm torn. Like I said, we all picked the Vikings. We all picked the Eagles in week 5. We all picked the Titans, and we all picked the Giants. So
you're starting to catch on, and you keep up like this, you're going to fit right into this family. So, so that was the last one. We didn't go too far over. I've got 12.
And I just summed up the cumulative records for all of us over the season so far.
Okay.
So J-Kid didn't pick didn't pick the games of week 2.
Right.
So he's got a lower score. He's 13-19. Including the Thursday night game of this week, Patriots, Buccaneers.
So not quite 500.
Not really close. 13 of 32. That's more about 400. You are 22-23.
So right at 500.
Sure, I miscalculated somewhere because it's not adding up.
Oh, he had to pick worse than that.
And then some things. Oh yeah, sorry, I miscalculated. You are 24-23 actually.
Ooh.
So you're over 500.
Just a tad over. How about that?
Yeah, and I'm 29-18.
Yeah, like I said, it's a long season yet.
Yeah, it was looking good for me. 29 of 47, 617. Yeah. I'm probably hurting myself with that Packers pick this week. I don't see them winning.
So are you keeping track now from here on out?
I do.
Okay, because I'd really like to see how that turns out at the end of the season. That would be interesting.
And we went too long by 15 minutes now.
Yep, I know. You get me talking, and I'm hard to shut up. Somebody mentioned that in chat earlier. I think it was BG. And you're right. I'm a talker. But anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks again, guys, for showing up. Really, seriously, we do appreciate it. And I'm seeing the same names show up every week, and that means a lot to me. That you think enough of this stream to come out and listen to us week in and week out. And thank you. Spread the word. Mindy, you got anything to say before we cut out?
Yeah. Make sure to smash that like button down there.
Yep.
And like you said, share if you appreciate what we're doing here every week. And YouTube won't do it for us. So nope. We're dependent on you spreading the message.
Yep. Okay. That's going to be it for us this week, guys. So, as always, get out of my yard.